So yeah, welcome back to Evolution. Today I have a special guest, a former client of mine who I have typed, and this is Claudia, and I have typed her as a psychospiritualist, and I'm excited to ask her a couple of questions about her experience with personality type and the psychospiritualist, and all that kind of stuff. So, welcome.
Yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you for inviting me.
Right. Okay. Okay, then let's start with the first question. So, what has been your journey with personality type? What were your issues with determining your type, or why were you confused?
Yeah, so it was a quite long journey. I think I started several years ago. I think maybe about 5 years ago. And the Jungian psychology, the MBTI, the socionics, it wasn't the only system. So I was also into the Enneagram and also into other things like human design, astrology. And I also use the tarot. It's for other things, but still you can also use it for yourself and as a mirror of your soul. So those things, they interested me a lot. And with the MBTI socionics, it wasn't that easy. Quite at the beginning, I had this feeling right at the beginning. Okay, I think it was 30 years ago that someone told
Oh,
me that that this exists, but at this time, no, not 30, maybe I was 25 years ago, I think. It was in my early 20s. And and at this time I thought, okay, I must be some kind of intuitive type. And later, when I got to know the system better and the functions and the stackings, and I read a lot and watched other videos, got to know it better. And then I started to be a bit confused. I was always sure that I was some kind of feeling type and rather an introvert. So those two things, some kind of IF type. I was pretty sure. But other than that, you also start your ego and your self-image starts messing with you. And I thought, okay, intuitive, nice, but I have low sensing. Oh no. And then I start to think about what does this mean? That I don't want to have low sensing. And,
oh,
things like this. It was
yeah.
not on a very conscious level, but it was, it's always like this ego and self-image thing is also always with you. And so therefore it started to become more difficult. And also the second thing was that there are different interpretations.
Mhm.
So with the classical, the Western MBTI, some functions, they are defined in a different way than in socionics. And when you read Carl Gustav Jung, which I read his book, it's also a bit different. Yeah. So especially when it comes to the introverted feeling function, it's quite different in the MBTI and also the extroverted sensing than in the socionics. And what helped me with you, I knew for some reason I have high introverted feeling, but how does this fit to my introverted intuition and to the extroverted feeling? So I was always, so the two types I thought that I'm most, it was the INFJ and the ISFP. Because I knew it must be FI, it must be NI, but also SE. And so therefore I was confused. And what you told me and what was very helpful was that I'm an INFJ with an IEI in
Yeah.
socionics with boosted FE, a boosted second function like subtype FE, which means that technically my strongest function is Fi. So this helped me a lot. Maybe you want to talk about this because this confuses a lot of people, I think.
Yeah, this can be a confusing thing. So, yeah, I don't even know where to start because INFJ versus ISFP is a very common confusion, a very
Mistype.
common mistype between each other. The thing is, right, that the secondary subtype, this is something that is mostly a thing in socionics. I got it from the inert contact subtype theory in socionics, which doesn't really come up in MBTI. And there, yes, like you said, if you have the FE subtype as an INFJ, technically your strongest function is introverted feeling, but the irony is that you don't value it.
Mm.
So you actually value introverted intuition and extroverted feeling more. But what you're the strongest at is actually another function. And this happens with everybody who has a secondary subtype. So everybody who is an introvert and leans towards ambiversion actually has a strength that they don't value as much. And valuing is something also from socionics, and it's the kind of function you prefer having in your life, the kind of function you prefer using also to some extent. So yeah, so this can happen, and with INFJ FE, this can be a conundrum. This can be something that is confusing. So, and also looking back when I was trying to type myself, and also one of the reasons why I thought socionics was superior was when I was also reading descriptions about NI, FI, FE. I also realized actually my FI is not that bad. Like I don't think my FI is like a weak function. Like I just based on the descriptions. So I also thought, okay, my NI and FI are also both good, but I definitely prefer using FE with people. That was my
Yeah.
experience.
Yeah.
I definitely prefer using FE over FI, but I don't think I'm bad at it. So, and then when I came across socionics where they say actually the two strongest functions of INFJ or IEI are introverted intuition and introverted feeling, that made a lot of sense to me. So, yeah. So I think that's basically
Yeah.
what you experience as well in a way. Um, so right, so you thought you could be some kind of IF type, maybe intuitive type. It's funny you point out that you didn't want to be weak at sensing, actually, um, which is funny because I think people who are sensing types, it's the opposite. They don't want to when they read like a sensing description that I don't want to be bad at intuition, right? Like, and then that their ego comes in and they're like, okay, this cannot be my type.
Yeah.
Can you say a bit more about why you didn't want to be weak at sensing? Like, what was that experience?
Um, yeah, I think the SF types, I think they are pretty cool. And it's this like, it has to do with aesthetics. It has to do with being good at sports. And I'm not bad at sports. It's like this expression, this outside expression, and how you dress, and also like some practical things. It was difficult for me when people criticized me that I'm not practical. I tried to hide it in a way, and I was so much used to hiding it that sometimes I believe by myself that I'm good in it. But I know that when I do those practical day-to-day organizing and actual doing things, what I admire at other people, when I do this for a longer time, I get exhausted and it drains me. And it's kind of, I feel this draining and meaningless, some kind of meaninglessness. And so when I'm honest to myself and I compare myself to people who are really like those doers and, power every day, then I say, okay, I'm not like them. Uh, yeah, but this was difficult sometimes for me to accept because
Mhm.
in our society this is also valued, and
Right.
the value that I have is not seen easily on the first sight for
True.
people, you know?
Yeah, um I think some of this what you're describing also overlaps a little bit with extrovert thinking, which
Yeah, yeah.
is also very, very like factual, efficient, and also leaning into the practical side a little bit. And this is also a function that the psychospiritualist or the INFJ IEI doesn't value. So yeah, and I think didn't you also grow up in Germany? And I think Germany sometimes has, it depends on the culture. I think some cultures have a
Mhm.
bit more of a tendency towards extrovert thinking a little bit. It depends also on uh, the time period we're in. But yeah, what do you think about that? Do you think?
Yeah, I grew up in Austria. I'm
Ah,
from
okay, sorry,
Austria.
Austria.
Yeah,
Okay,
but I live partly in Germany and Austria
okay,
because my partner is German, so I know Germany very well. Um, and yeah, maybe, yeah, it is the fact that those TESE and also FE, but TESE is very much valued, especially at working spaces,
hmm,
and especially, okay, I mean, maybe also some NT type of jobs, yeah.
yeah,
But this is valued a lot, and I mean, you know this, you see this, and um, you don't. It's very difficult as a psycho-spiritualist. What should you do as a profession? You can become a psychotherapist, okay, for example, but there are not so many other mm, highly valued, socially highly valued and well paid professions. And this social value I was very aware of. And yeah, so this made it more difficult too. But I soon realized that I'm not interested in those things, TESE, it bores me.
yeah. Especially the team
And
part, I can imagine. Like,
yes, it bores me, and I cannot. I tried a job in this field. I mean, it was in public relations. It was not completely TESE type of job, but it was still organizing, managing, talking a lot with people, being efficient, being extroverted. Yeah, I tried those type of jobs, and I just couldn't do it.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
it's tricky. Yeah, I can see how that's a problem. The thing is, like the kinds of people who are the most like this are what I call the administrator. So that's kind of refers to ESTJ, LSE, which is the opposite type of the
yeah,
psychospiritualist. And they kind of run society in a way, like
yeah,
behind the
yeah,
scenes in a lot of professions, a lot of business, and a lot of also governmental institutions. I
yeah,
think
yeah.
they're there a lot. So you get the feeling that, okay, this is what society is kind of like or run by. And then it's hard to find your niche, I guess, or find
Yeah,
something you enjoy doing. Yeah,
yeah,
I think in some videos, I think I mentioned also that I actually tried studying law. And I was influenced by my dad, who I think is an administrator, and he kept
yeah,
telling me you have to study law. And I tried it for like, I think for like a year, and I just gave up. I couldn't do it. So
yeah,
I think, yeah,
yeah,
it's very, very much that
yeah,
kind of thing.
yeah, yeah.
Um, okay, then let's go back to a different question. So, how did you find me, and what were your thoughts? I think you took a quiz, my quiz, or do you remember
Um,
how you found me?
I found your YouTube channel via Facebook. I'm in different Facebook groups and yeah, mainly Facebook groups. And there people post different things. And I think there was one of your videos I saw there. And I liked it. And yeah, and I went on your channel and I thought, okay, I like how she talks about it because it's not this usual 16 personalities thing. It's more socionics and more in depth. And I also liked your style. So I thought, okay, that's interesting. And then I watched you, and then I thought that someday, okay, maybe I want to talk with someone, because this journey I did, this MBTI journey and also the Enneagram journey, um, I didn't talk with many people about that, because many people in my environment, even people who are interested in this, they don't have this in-depth knowledge that I really can talk with them about this. So I thought, okay, it's a good thing to talk with you to be more clear, to become more clear. Um, because it's when you're alone thinking about it and reflecting, you can only come so far, I think. And this I realized in many areas of my life, but also with this. And then I just contacted you. Yeah, went on your website.
Hmm. Okay, yeah, cool. Um, and I think you took my quiz, and I think you actually did get the correct result, which I think you got the tribe, right?
Yes, I got the tribe, the Beta Quadra.
Hmm.
Yes, yes, and also, in fact, I took some other quizzes in
Hmm.
online socionics, and and on those quizzes, I got the result ENFJ, and I
Oh,
thought,
okay.
because, and I guess this was because of my boosted FE, because the
Right.
FE of the FE subtype, but I knew that I'm not an extroverted feeling type, because my main direction when I interact is looking inside.
Hmm.
It's like I'm like expressive, and yeah, I can do this FE, but I have to look inside more. And therefore, and also I get exhausted sometimes when it's too much FE. And other FE types where I see they are like FE leading types, they are so much more energized. And I appear energized right now, but most
Hmm.
of my day when you watch me,
Not
I'm
really.
not energized.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially, yeah, if people have FE as a first function, I would say ESFJ especially, they can
Yeah.
have like a lot of emotional, like outwardly emotional energy. And what I noticed is with ESFJ, to some extent also ESFP, so I call ESFJ the host, ESFP the performer. They have all
Mhm.
this energy, and when they don't expend it, like when they don't interact with people, if they don't, let it out, they can get like
Yeah.
almost like anxious and like anxious energy and stuff like that. And I
Mhm,
don't
mhm,
think that's
mhm.
really a case for the
No,
psych.
it's
Like
not the case.
it's not
I
like, oh,
can
I
be
have to get
alone.
it out.
I can be alone for 2 days reading and walking in the forest, and I'm
Yeah.
perfectly fine. So yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, how did you then relate to the result, right? Like we did the typing session together, and then I told you, okay,
Mhm.
psychospiritualist, and then you
Yeah,
also read up a bit on it, I think. And what were your
yeah.
thoughts? Like, how could you relate to it?
Yeah, I can relate to it very well. I think, yeah, the introverted intuition leading makes a lot of sense for me, because most of my time I am inside of I call it my inner soul space. And I was always like a lot much in contact with my inner world, with my dreams. I was always, when I was a child, I was already interested in astrology and all those symbols and tarot and all those things. They fascinated me. And also, when I watch myself during the day, even when I'm in contact talking with other people, I am so much, so often inside my own world and atmosphere and inner pictures or knowing, or it's just something I dive in. And therefore, this makes a lot of sense for me with the introverted intuition. And I'm also, I think, close to my subconscious, like things like I remember my dreams, and sometimes dreams seem to be more real to me.
Yeah.
than the real world. So their meaning, things like this, it's yeah. So
Yeah.
this like
Yeah, that was a really nice description you gave there. And also for me, because I'm also a psychospiritualist,
yeah.
some of it is also quite resonant. Even as a child, I was already like trying to make myself dream certain things.
Yes.
Like I was already very much in touch with that. Yeah, so it's nice to hear that.
Mm.
I think to kind of refer back to what we said earlier, uh, well, yeah, it can be sometimes hard to find a place in society, and um, yeah, what did I want to say about that? Let me think. There was something. Um, oh yeah, okay. So um, you also do retreats, right? Like you do like ceremonies and things like that.
Yes.
Can you say a bit more
Yes.
about that?
Yes.
Because I think that's also a nice
Uh,
thing to do for
yeah,
the.
I started to lead and yeah, lead and organize and make the concept for my own retreats. And also I started actually a couple of years, I think 7, 8 years ago, I started with workshops at festivals. So this was my first thing. I started to give inner journeys, meditations, because this comes natural to me. So with this, I started like leading people through an inner journey. And then I started, for 2 years, I had my own women's circle in Wiesbaden here in Germany. So it was a small group of like 10 women, 8 to 10 women. And I made with them, I made meditations, self reflections, but also topics like the 4 elements, the tarot, and also like body work, like dancing and things like this. And then I started, I think it was 5 years ago, I started with retreats. My partner and I, we have a place in Austria. He bought a hotel a couple of years ago. And sometimes I give there my own retreats. One of those retreats was the Rauhnächte retreat, it's called. It's over New Year's. It's the winter solstice time. And at this time, it's a tradition that you look into the tarot cards and you burn incense and you get in contact with your soul space. So those things I did. And wait a minute. Yeah. Now you're back. I just lost the pic. It was dark. Yeah. So, but I don't do this very often. Maybe once or twice a year, I offer a retreat and it lasts 4 or 5 days. And it's also a vacation for people. And I have sometimes a yoga teacher with me who offers yoga in the morning. And then one of my friends, she's a witch. She follows a pagan path and she knows the runes and she knows herbs very well. So those people I also have with me in my retreats. And I guess the coming years I might offer more. But the last year I did most with my own YouTube channel and I started to film and to be on YouTube. And this is also something which is great joy for me to talk about the things that I learned during, within my life journey and yeah, and also which are soulful, which touch the soul and are about individuation and self-development and yeah, things like this.
Yeah, cool. So yeah, I will definitely link her channel in the description box, maybe also as a comment, so you can check it
Mhm.
out. It's really nice.
Yeah.
I think it's a very nice representation of the psychospiritualist, and yeah, so I think it's a great example. So yeah,
Yeah.
make sure to check it out. Um,
Thank you.
and I wanted to go now. I think I remember. I want to go back to the previous thing about once again society and feeling like
Yeah.
how you are not really valued.
Yeah.
Um, do you know how you kind of got over it, or like when was there like a point in your life where you were like, okay, I'm just gonna stop being bothered by it, or is that still an ongoing journey, I guess?
Yeah, I think I remember maybe three things. First thing was in my mid-20s, after finishing, beginning or mid-20s, after finishing university and trying to to get a foot into the job market, and trying those jobs which require high TE, SE, or being extroverted, being more organized, and being in this tight corset, in this tight time plan the whole day. This was the first time that I realized, okay, this is not me. And at this time, I started to dive more into spirituality and psychology, and started to attend seminars and read a lot. So maybe this was the first
Mm-hmm.
time. And I read also the spiritual books of Paulo Coelho. I loved, and things like this inspired me. And anthroposophy, Rudolf Steiner, and I read Carl Gustav Jung and different things. So this inspired me. And then maybe I was 33. I had this pre-cancer state in my belly. So it wasn't cancer yet, but it was a pre-cancer state, and I had to go to hospital to get an operation. And this was also a point in my life where I thought, okay, I must live my essence.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I dump everything else which is not me, because life is short, and sometimes death. I mean, I wasn't really sick. It was just a pre-cancer, like a Gebärmutterhals. Yeah, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know what in English the term.
Yeah,
And
something down there, ovaries or something
yes,
area.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so this was also, and at this time I came in contact a lot with shadow work, and also with my sexuality, and with shadow, and with really deep subjects and deep feelings. And at this point, I also started to attend seminars like tantric seminars and tarot seminars, and things like this. Um, yeah, and then maybe the third thing was getting to know my partner 12 years ago. And he's a psychotherapist and doctor. That was his main profession. And with him, I could talk a lot about all those subjects also. And also, I started to work. He also has another company which he has with his brother together, and I started to work with him, and I got more. With him, I got more existential security, and with this existential financial security, I could start not worrying about, you know, your everyday income. I could start also do some projects without those projects having to be instantly financially successful. And this is very important for me, because it's so difficult for me to think about the financial success of something. This is not something that comes easy to me.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not
So,
natural to the type.
so just starting something which is close to my heart, and having, yeah, and having this backup that you don't need to make money with this instantly. This was also a thing which helped me a lot with this.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
maybe those three things.
yeah, those are good examples. I can also comment on, I think, the first and last points, like from my perspective. When you mentioned the first point, I was thinking for me also when I got into all of this stuff, it was around the time when I was studying law, and I was just like, I cannot do this. It was like almost like a mini crisis, and I had to kind of figure out what actually suits me, what do I actually want to do, and who am I actually, and that's when I got into the personality type stuff. And the last point, right? Like I think this is the case for a lot of people. When you only think about having to make money, it's possible you don't do something that actually suits who you are, right? Like it's sometimes you will pick up something that your parents told you should do, or that profitable,
Yeah.
or whatever it is, right? And then people do things that don't entirely suit them. So it's good to have an income, but also to
Yeah.
explore other things. Like I think other
Yeah.
people, they just tend to explore like hobbies or side hustles and things like that, and
Yeah.
that's where the true personality can come out.
Yeah. Before I got to know my partner, I had like I worked only half time as an editor, content creator, which is also something I like, writing and creating content for websites and magazines. I did this for a long time. And besides this, I did the other things like tarot and some other. So this was also something I did for 10 years, like part-time working and part-time, yeah, my hobbies.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's usually how to get into it. I think a lot of people, it depends on how they grew up, but a lot of people have issues with coming to terms with who they really are. I think it's part of the individuation process, like from Carl Jung. I think a lot of people who go into personality type theory have this. They might not know that they have it, but it's this unconscious thing of not fully accepting who you are for whatever reason. Could be societal, could be upbringing, and then trying to figure out who or what that is, and going from there. Yeah, that's a very big process, very big
Yeah.
thing to unravel. We don't have that much time today.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
just want to mention that. And I think what you described is a good example of how you might even discover your true self or what you really enjoy doing
Mhm.
besides just making money or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
sometimes the two are in conflict. But I've also known people that kind of got lucky where um, who they are, their personality matches with what their parents wanted or what the society wants, and then they go into a job and it just fits, and that's good,
Yeah.
and they don't have that many issues with their personality. Okay, and then I have another question. So how did
Mhm.
this typing process with me and just discovering this, how did this change your understanding of personality earlier, but maybe you can say
Yeah.
more?
Yeah. A really big thing was this FE subtype, and strong FI. This made some things clear to me. So this was a very important point to me.
Mhm.
And also talking with someone about your strengths and weaknesses. You know, when you're alone, and thinking about things, you lose yourself sometimes in fantasies about yourself and in things like, you know, you asked me, for example, a question like, are you ungeduldig? Are you impatient? Yeah, you asked me that.
Mhm.
And you know, when you ask yourself, am I impatient? And then I remember, okay, at this point I was impatient. Yeah. And when you're alone, then maybe sometimes this one incident becomes that big and you think, yeah, I am impatient. But when I watch myself for a longer period of time and when I talk with someone who really asks me, so tell me about your everyday life and are you impatient like the whole day? Or, yeah, then I say, no.
Mhm.
Most of the day I'm in this
Yeah.
like, you know, inner flows, and you sometimes have to have someone else also because you have the comparison, with other people, if I compare myself with people who are like impatient from their personality structure here, and not only at this one
Mhm.
incident when they have to stand and wait somewhere, when they are like impatient personalities the whole day, yeah, that's
Yeah.
so such a different thing. And sometimes you don't see this, you don't see yourself from outside, and another person like you can see, you can give another perspective, and then it becomes more objective.
Mhm. Right. Yeah, I think that's something that I've also noticed with other people. Um, so mm, the thing, there's different problems with that, right? Like one of them is just how you look at yourself, right? Like you are kind of looking at yourself and you're trying to figure out who you are by yourself. That can be very tricky, especially because, like you said, you tend to have a one, like you, the view is too one dimensional. It's too subjective.
Yeah.
So that's one issue. And by the way, I think also sometimes when people try to type themselves with AI and things like that, they just, it's just still this, how you say, like this person who's trying to analyze themselves by themselves alone.
Yes.
And it's just, yeah, it's like in this rabbit hole. You need to be able to compare yourself, like I said, to other people. And the problem is,
Mm.
most people, the kinds of people they hang out with, are usually not all kinds of personalities. Like usually it's um, especially for example with your friends, they're gonna have similar personalities to you, or you don't meet all kinds of personalities, and you also don't get close to all of them. So you don't have the ability to compare your personality to other people as much.
Yeah.
Now, if you're very aware of this, you might be able to do this. I also have
Mm.
a different blog. The name is a bit long, viptypology.wordpress.com.
Mhm.
And I have all kinds of yeah, celebrities, public people, characters, everything on there that I have typed. And when you go there and you just see all the different types of personalities, you see that yours is also different in its own way. And for example, maybe I can give an example. A lot of people, when they think I'm an intuitive type because I like intuitive things,
Mm.
or I'm an extrovert, but and then I when I give you examples, or when I know examples of people I have typed in my sessions, then it's clear that okay, this is not the case. I
Mm.
also have another video where it's about the voice typing. I don't know if you saw that.
I saw this. I found this very interesting.
Yeah, so this is
Yeah.
like a crash course almost in seeing how different people can be.
Yeah. Yeah. And
And
I'm sure that when I watch this, I say, okay, I am an IF
yeah,
type. It must be. There is no other. I'm not the enthusiast. I'm not the cold-blooded, and the third is the business-like. Yeah.
mhm.
So this is really good, I think.
Yeah, you need to be able to know all these kind
Yeah.
of different personalities. Most people don't, just based on their daily life. And yeah, I when I was back in the day when I was getting into personality types, I kind of made it my mission to find people of every type, like you know, have examples of
Yeah.
everybody, so I can know and I can compare. And then also when I get people in my sessions and when I compare them also to each other in a way, I can also see okay, definitely this person acted like this and the other one like that. And
Yeah.
as a normal person, if you're just by yourself trying to figure this out, you don't have all this
Yeah.
exposure
Yeah. Yeah.
usually.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. This is very true.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
So another question: who would you recommend this typing session with me for? Like, who do you think would be good for this?
Um, I think, yeah, one, like, also people like me who already got to know those systems and who are very much interested in it, but are not sure which type they exactly are. So, for the typing, I would say. And those people can be all age groups. I mean, I think I'm older than you, so I'm
Yeah.
still, and still, it's no problem for me that you type me. Yeah. So for the typing, but also people who are maybe a bit younger, who are like in their 20s, or maybe 30s, who are searching for their purpose role. Like you talk a lot about the purpose role and about finding your path in life. And I think for this, it would be also very helpful. And this I missed, by the way, when I was younger. I had to find out most of those things by myself and like reading, but also visiting different groups. And I've been to coaches also when I was younger, but it wasn't really this direction. Some of them were good, some of them, one or two of them were really good. And then I also had coaches, or I went to a psychotherapist also once when I was younger, like beginning of my 20s, I think. And also I didn't make that good experiences. But I think you are very good for people who are searching for their purpose in life, and also maybe like compatibility with a partnership. This I can also imagine. But yeah, a great part for finding your place in life, following your soul path, listening to your inner voice and living according to your personality structure, and yeah, being on this individuation process. So for this, I think you
Yeah,
could be
that's
also.
lovely. I really like the soul path
Yeah.
description, or also when you said earlier, I think you called it your inner, was it
Soul space,
soul
soul
space?
space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
find it funny that I kind of amuses me a bit. I think a lot of NI people have their own way of saying what this inner thing
Yeah.
is. Like I used to call it my voice of wisdom.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I just want to point it out because I
Yeah,
found it
that's
really,
yeah.
yeah, really nice.
Mhm.
Yeah, and yeah, also, yeah, someone like you as well. Um, Interestingly, exactly what you mentioned, the kinds of clients I tend to get are either, yeah, younger in their 20s, or like you, like already
Mhm.
older. So
Mhm.
that's really
Yeah.
interesting to see. Um, I
Mhm.
guess it's when people start thinking about, okay, what kind of direction I should go in, or what
Yeah.
kind of life would actually suit me.
Mhm.
So yeah, cool.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay. Is there anything else you would like to mention? Or
Ah. Hmm. I don't know. Did we talk about the functions? Yeah, the introverted intuition, the feeling function, maybe a bit about extroverted feeling. Did we talk about this? I don't think so. I think did we talk? I don't think so.
not
I
that much?
think this, yeah, not that much. This is also something I wasn't aware a lot that I do this. Um, this harmony and this feeling into the atmosphere of a relationship. Um, because I also have this FI, but as you mentioned, when I'm with people, then the FE takes over. And I like to, maybe that's also I'm also Enneagram type 9. And I also like harmony and, with people to have a nice atmosphere. And yeah, so I think, yeah, this is also something to mention. Yeah, this FE, this harmonizing and feeling into the atmosphere, and trying to make things smooth. And sometimes I'm not even aware of that I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I value it. I know that I value it because I do it and it's important to me, but it's not something, and that's with all those functions. They are not conscious. You're not thinking about, oh, now I do FE
Right. Right.
in your everyday life.
Yeah.
You just do it. It's like an automatism. It's like
Mm,
it's automatic. Your strongest functions, I think, are automatic. With other
right.
functions, you have to really put more energy in.
Yeah, that's a good point. I
Yeah.
think it's also one of the differences between people who have FE as a first or second function versus people who have it at another spot, or who like, if we also compare again INFJ versus ISFP, ISFP I call the aesthete. So ISFPs or ESI, they also have good extrovert feeling, but I think for them it's more like a tool, and they are consciously aware that they're using it. So I mean, not everyone knows about socionics and all that stuff,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
they're not gonna think I'm using FE, but
Yeah,
the mechanism is way more conscious. So it's way
yeah,
more like, okay, they're way more aware. Okay, I have to smile. I'm gonna smile now, or I have to put on this face, and I'm gonna do
yeah,
this. It's way more like almost
yeah.
deliberate.
Deliberate. Yeah.
Yeah. Versus when it's your second or first function, it just happens, right? Like
It's
it just
happened. It happens to me. Yeah.
right. It's just very automatic.
Yeah.
Now I have to say, if people who don't value extrovert feeling and they still do it quite a bit, especially if they're like FI first, like ISFP, INFP, and maybe the way they grew up or something, they were taught they should use more FE, depending on who you are around, it might start to become a bit more automatic. So for some people, it might start to
Yeah.
be like that, but they're still quite aware of it in the back of their
Yeah.
mind. And when I would talk with them or when I would observe them, they would find it draining. Like they would not enjoy it really. Like it's like, okay, I have to, kind of like I have to do it, but I would rather not. And that's not really the case if it's your second or first function. Yeah. So that was good you mentioned that, because I think a lot of people don't really know this, or they don't realize that. It's true that most people are not really aware of using their first or second function. Like it just happens.
Yeah. 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 And this is with all those things, also with your Enneagram type, all those things, you are not aware of it. It's so deep. It's on a non-verbal level. And then you learn those expressions. Okay, this is called this is called this. But then to bring it together with this deep inner automatic experience, this is also an important step, I think.
Yeah, good you point that out. Yeah. Okay. I guess
Yeah.
I've gone through my questions. I don't have any more questions for now.
Yeah.
Do you have any last questions or comments or something you want to
Yeah, I think it
say?
was a very nice experience with you, the whole typing process. And I'm very happy that I did it with
Okay,
you.
I'm glad to
Thank you
hear that.
very much.
Yeah, also thank
Yeah.
you for being so open and doing this interview with me. So yeah, okay, then like we said earlier, you can check out Claudia's channel. I
Yeah.
think, is it called your name?
It's my name, Claudia Fabrizi. So maybe you put the
I
link
will
in
put it
in
in
the
the
description
description.
down, and then yeah.
So people can check it out, and
Yeah,
yeah.
and it's also in English, so
Right. We have
everybody.
to say that it's not in German, so you can,
Yeah.
even if you don't speak German, you can follow the
Yeah.
videos.
Mhm.
All right, okay, thank you so much.
So, thank you very much.
Okay, so I will close it here. And yeah, have a good day.
Yeah, you too. Bye.